The screen door slammed like a gunshot in the sticky summer dusk. And there he was, bare-chested, sweat glistened, wielding a wrench like it was an extension of his fury. "Get the hell off my property!" my mom shrieked, her voice cracking the humid air of Elmwood Lane. I froze on the porch steps, heart pounding, because in that split second, our eyes locked, and the world narrowed to the raw, unspoken hunger in his gaze, the kind that could burn a house down. I was 16 when we moved to Willow Creek, Ohio, that cookie-cutter suburb where every lawn was mowed to military precision and every driveway boasted a sensible SUV. Dad had taken the job at the auto plant in Dayton, chasing the ghost of middle-class stability after Mom's Bakery went under in Cleveland. Our new house was a squat ranch-style relic, paint peeling like old regrets, sandwiched between the Johnsons' pristine colonial and the eyesore next door. A sagging Victorian with overgrown ivy and a for-sale sign that never sold. That's where he lived, Jack Harlan, the neighbor Mom took one look at and decided was the devil incarnate. She called him that drifter from day one, her lips curling like she'd tasted something foul. It started small, the rumble of his Harley waking her at dawn, the faint scent of weed drifting over the fence on lazy afternoons, the way he'd lounge on his porch swing in faded jeans and a threadbare tee, staring at nothing like he carried the weight of forgotten wars. Jack was 32. A tattooed ex-Marine with a buzz cut gone silver at the temples and scars that mapped stories he never told. Folks whispered he'd come back from Afghanistan broken, scraping by on odd jobs, fixing engines at the garage, bartending weekends at the Rusty Anchor. To Mom, he was chaos wrapped in leather, a threat to the fragile normalcy she'd clawed for us. But me, couldn't look away. I'd sneak glances from my bedroom window, the one that faced his backyard, watching him tinker with that beat-up truck under the hood, muscles flexing like coiled springs. It wasn't just the looks. Though God, they haunted my dreams, all broad shoulders and quiet intensity. It was the pull, magnetic and terrifying, like gravity had shifted and he was the only solid ground. I was Ethan Caldwell, the quiet kid with a sketchbook full of half-drawn faces and a secret buried deeper than Dad's war stories. I was gay, and in Willow Creek, that was a confession sharper than any knife. The first time we spoke, it was over the fence 2 weeks in. I was wrestling with the ancient lawnmower Dad swore would build character, its engine coughing like a dying beast. Cursing under my breath, I yanked the cord one too many times, and the blade seized up, spitting grass and fury. That's when his voice cut through, low and gravelly, like bourbon over ice. "Need a hand, kid?" I whipped around, cheeks burning. There he was, leaning on the fence in cut-off shorts and a tank top that clung to his chest like a second skin, a beer dangling from his fingers. Up close, he smelled like motor oil and pine, raw, unfiltered man. Yeah. Stuck. My voice cracked, betraying me, and I hated how small I felt. He vaulted the fence effortless as a panther, tools materializing from nowhere. "These relics are finicky bitches," he muttered, kneeling beside it, his hands sure and calloused. I watched, mesmerized, as he coaxed the engine back to life with a few twists and a growl of his own. It roared, and so did something in me. "Thanks," I stammered, wiping sweat from my brow. "I'm Ethan. Jack." His eyes met mine, holding just a beat too long, and in that gaze, I saw it. A flicker of recognition, like he knew the storm raging in my chest. "Your mom's got a glare that could curdle milk. She shoot you for talking to the likes of me?" I laughed, nervous and real. "Not yet, but she's got a list." He grinned, slow and wicked, handing me the wrench like a secret. "Keep it. You'll need it." And just like that, he was gone, leaving me with a pounding heart and the ghost of his touch on the metal. Mom noticed, of course, that night at dinner, over meatloaf and green beans that tasted like obligation. She fixed me with those steel blue eyes. "Stay clear of that Harlan boy, Ethan. He's trouble wrapped in tattoos. Your father and I didn't drag you here for you to get mixed up with riffraff." Dad grunted agreement from behind his paper. More ghost than man these days, his hands stained black from the factory line. "Listen to your mother, son." "Art project," I lied, flipping to a blank page. "Trees are Inspiring. He chuckled, deep and rumbling, and settled on the grass, back against the fence. Bullshit. You're spying on me. No malice, just truth, and it pinned me like a butterfly. My face flamed. Maybe a little. We talked then, halting at first school, the monotony of Willow Creek, how the stars looked sharper over the desert than any Ohio sky. He didn't push, didn't pry, but his questions peeled me open. What do you dream about, Ethan? Not the safe stuff, the real shit, the stuff that keeps you up at night. I told him about the city lights in my sketches, the ache for something bigger than cul-de-sacs and conformity. He listened, really listened, his eyes never leaving mine, and for the first time I felt seen. Not as the good kid, the straight-A shadow, but as me, the boy with fire in his veins and fear in his gut. By week's end, it was routine. Stolen hours at the fence, his stories of sandstorms and lost brothers weaving with my confessions of feeling like an alien in my own skin. He never said it outright, but I caught the way his gaze lingered on my mouth, the brush of his knee against the wood when we sat close. It was electric, forbidden, a wire humming just out of reach. Then came the night that cracked everything open. Dad's shift ran late. Mom was at her night class for that accounting certificate she chased like salvation. I slipped out after dark, heart hammering, to the old swing set in Jack's yard, the one rusted but sturdy, hidden by the ivy. He'd texted me earlier. I'd given him my number under the guise of borrowing tools. A simple porch lights on. Come if you want. The air was thick with crickets and the faint tang of rain on the horizon. He was there, silhouetted against the glow, a joint glowing between his fingers. Couldn't sleep? He asked, voice soft as the shadows. Nope. I sat beside him on the swing, chains creaking under our weight. Our thighs touched, denim on denim, and neither pulled away. We passed the joint. My first drag, coughing like a fool, him laughing gentle as he steadied me with a hand on my back. Heat bloomed where he touched, spreading like wildfire. Easy, Ethan. World won't end if you breathe. But it might, I thought. For us, it already was tilting. The conversation turned raw. His discharge, the nightmares that clawed him awake, the men he'd loved and lost in barracks whispers. They don't get it here, he said, staring at the stars. Small town, small minds. You hide or you break. I swallowed hard. I'm hiding. His head turned, slow, and in the dim light, his eyes were oceans. Deep, pulling me under. From what? You know. My voice was whisper, confession. Yeah. His hand found mine in the dark, rough thumb tracing my knuckles. I do. Time fractured then. His lips on mine were salt and smoke, tentative at first, then fierce, like he'd been starving. I kissed back hungry, clumsy, the world exploding in colors I'd only sketched. His arms wrapped me, solid as anchors, and for those stolen minutes, Willow Creek faded. The fences, the stairs, the lies. But nothing gold stays. Mom found out 2 weeks later, bursting into my room like a hurricane. Phone clutched like evidence. What the hell is this? She hissed, shoving screenshots at me. Grainy photos from a busybody neighbor's ring cam, Jack's truck in our drive at odd hours, me slipping over the fence like a thief. It's not. I started, but her slap cut me off sharp and stinging. Not what? Not you throwing away everything for that. That pervert. Tears streaked her face, fury masking fear. He's using you, Ethan. Men like him, they ruin boys like you. He's not. But the words choked. How to explain the way Jack saw my soul, mended cracks I didn't know were there. Dad stood in the doorway, silent as ever, but his eyes, disappointment, heavy as lead. Grounded, no contact. We're family, son. Act like it. The betrayal stung deepest from Jack. Days blurred into a cage. School a haze, home a minefield. I snuck glances at his house. Lights on late, shadows moving like ghosts. On the 5th night, I couldn't breathe. Texted him. Please, back fence. Now. He came, face gaunt, eyes haunted. Ethan, this? I know. I pressed against the wood, fingers threading through chain links. But I can't stop. I love. Don't. His voice broke. Your mom's right. I'm poison. Served my country. Came home to this scraps and stares. You deserve better. College, city lights, a life without my baggage. Tears burned. You're not baggage. You're home. He leaned close, forehead to fence, breath mingling. Then why does it hurt so much to let you go? We clung like that, whispers and what-ifs, until dawn crept in. But betrayal brewed darker. Turns out, Mom hadn't just watched. She'd reported him. Anonymous tip to the cops. Parole violation, harboring a minor, whatever smear stuck. Jack's door echoed with knocks at noon, badges flashing, hauling him in cuffs for questioning on old charges from his service days. Nothing stuck, but the damage did. Willow Creek buzzed. That Harlan's at it again, corrupting the Caldwell boy. He vanished after, truck gone, house dark. A for rent sign sprouted like a scar. I unraveled. Sketches turned to ash in the trash. Nights sobbing into pillows. Mom softened in her way. I did it for you, baby. To save you. But her hugs felt like chains. Summer bled into fall. Leaves turning blood red like accusations. Dad took me fishing, silent sermons on manhood. But the hook caught wrong every time. School whispered. Friends drifted. Faggots heartbreak. Scrawled on my locker. I built walls thick as Jack's silence. Then, winter's bite. A letter, postmarked Chicago. His scrawl, shaky. Ethan, I'm sorry. For the mess. For the goodbye I couldn't say. You woke something in me I thought dead. But love like ours? It's a grenade in places like this. Go live, kid. For both of us. Be brave. Jay. It gutted me, mended nothing. But it lit a fuse. Spring thaw brought rebellion. I turned 17 with a forged note and a bus ticket to Dayton, pounding pavement till I found the rusty anchor. Jack slung drinks there on weekends. Rumor had it, before the incident. The bar was a dive. Neon flickering, jukebox crooning Springsteen, air thick with regret. He wasn't there, but the bartender, a grizzled vet named Mick, eyed my desperation. Harlan? Yeah, he bounces through. Last I heard, he's up in Cleveland, fixing rigs for the union. Said something about a kid who broke his heart clean open. Mick slid me a Coke, pity in his pour. You that kid? I nodded, throat tight. Tell him Ethan's still drawing stars. Mick grunted. Boy, you chase ghosts, you'll end up one. But ghosts pull hardest. I aced finals, buried in books to forget, but Jack haunted margins. His jawline in geometry angles, his laugh in poetry rhymes. Mom watched wary. Her accounting job blooming into shifts that kept her out. Dad's silences deeper. They never spoke his name, but the air crackled with it. Climax crashed Memorial Day weekend. Willow Creek's parade. Flags waving, brass bands marching. The American dream on steroids. I was roped into carrying the Junior Legion banner. Sweat soaked in wool under relentless sun. Mom beamed from the sidelines, Dad snapping photos like pennants. Then, engines roared. Harleys thundering down Main. Leathers gleaming. A pack of riders cutting through like thunder. Jack led them, astride a gleaming black beast, bandana whipping, eyes scanning the crowd till they locked on me. Time stuttered. He revved, peeling off formation, skidding to a halt at the curb. Chaos erupted, shouts, gasps. But he dismounted graceful as sin, helmet tucked under arm, striding through the throng like he owned the street. Ethan, my name on his lips, rough and reverent. Up close, he was leaner, harder edged, a fresh tattoo curling on his neck. A compass rose, pointing north. The crowd parted, Mom's face ashen yards away. What the? Jack. I dropped the banner, fabric pooling like surrender. His hand cupped my cheek, thumb brushing tears I hadn't felt fall. I couldn't stay away. He murmured, voice for me alone. Tried. Failed. Sirens wailed distant. Cops circling like vultures. But in that bubble, it was us. His heat, my ache, the world a blur. He kissed me then, fierce and claiming, right there on Elmwood's cracked sidewalk. Gasps rippled, phones flashed, but his arms were iron, holding the storm at bay. Mom's scream pierced, "Get away from my son!" She lunged, Dad hauling her back, face thunderous. "You ruined him." Jack pulled away, eyes never leaving mine. "No, ma'am. I woke him." Cuffs clicked later, not on him on the moment. Charges dropped quick. Parade stunts weren't crimes. But the fallout? Biblical. Mom barricaded the door that night, sobbing accusations. "He's a predator, using you to spite me for what I did." Turns out, her tip wasn't just protective. It was vengeance. Jack's brother, years back, had worked with Dad at the plant. Stolen tools cost him a promotion. Mom held grudges like rosaries. He deserved it for dragging us into his filth. Betrayal twice over, her fear laced with old poison. Dad, finally speaking, "Enough, Ellen. Boy's got his own wars." But the damage spiderwebbed. Neighbors' stares turned to stones. School a gauntlet of slurs and shoves. Jack holed up, his crew a shield of chrome and loyalty. But whispers of relocation buzzed. Chicago, maybe, where vets like him could breathe. We met in secret after. His garage tools scattered like fallen stars. Radio low with Dylan laments. "Run with me," he urged one humid night, oil-smeared hands framing my face. "Your 18th's in months. We'll hit the road, California, canyons, coast. Start clean." Heart soared, then plummeted. "Mom," she'd shatter. "She's shattering you now." His kiss was desperation, tasting of goodbye. Love isn't chains, Ethan. It's wings. But wings clip easy in Willow Creek. The conflict peaked sweltering July 4th. Fireworks booming like artillery. Block party in full hypocritical swing. Mom hosted, potato salad and piety, forcing smiles over fences she'd once guarded like borders. Jack showed, uninvited, plate in hand, charming the ants with marine tales till Mom's jaw clenched vice-tight. I slipped away to the backyard, pulse racing, fireworks painting sky in false glory. He followed, cornering me by the oak. "This place is killing us. Then let's end it." I pulled him close, lips crashing, hands roaming safe in shadows. Not lust, but lifeline, souls tangling against unraveling. A flash camera? No, Mom's silhouette, phone raised. "Ethan Caldwell, step back." She'd recorded, voice trembling. "Proof. For the authorities. He's grooming you." Jack stepped forward, calm as death. "Ellen, stop. This ain't about me. This your boy, loving who he loves. Punish me if you must, but let him fly." Her face crumpled, rage to ruin. "You think I don't see? My baby's slipping away because of you. Because of truth," he countered soft. "Hiding it? That's the real poison." Dad appeared, hand on her shoulder. "Let it go, Ellen. He's right." The party hushed, eyes on us like spotlights. Mom fled inside, sobs echoing. Jack squeezed my hand. "Your call, kid. I chose him. That night, bag packed, note left. I'm sorry, but I'm alive. Love you both." We rode out at midnight, his Harley devouring miles, wind whipping confessions free. Chicago first, his union gig steady, my community college dreams deferred but not dead. We crashed in a walk-up above a taqueria. Walls thin but ours, sketches blooming on every surface. His profile in charcoal, our hands intertwined in ink. Betrayal lingered, a scar, letters from Mom, first fury, then fracture. "Come home. We can fix this." But home shifted. It was his laugh in dawn light, his arms in nightmares, the way he traced my tattoos, matching compass, inked hasty in a roadside parlor. Conflict simmered. My guilt gnawing, his demons flaring in bar fights and midnight miles. "We earned this," he'd murmur, pulling me close. "Brick by goddamn brick." Climax revisited fall. Rain lashed. Mom showed unannounced, face gaunt, Dad's truck idling curbside. "Ethan." Her voice, small. "I was wrong. Scared. Of losing you two." Everything I couldn't control. We talked hours, tears and truths. Her youth in a mill town, Dad's silences from his own hidden pains, the fear that love like mine meant isolation. Jack stayed back, quiet sentinel, but his hand in mine grounded her words. He's family now, I said. Forgiveness wasn't fireworks, but embers warm, enduring. Years folded. I graduated, sketches to galleries in Wicker Park, Jack's garage to Foreman Steady. Willow Creek faded to holiday cards, Mom's calls softening to pride. We bought a bungalow, porch swing creaking under 2, stars sharper over Lake Michigan. One eve, fireflies dancing, he knelt. Ring simple, silver band etched with North. Marry me, Ethan. Not for show. For us. Tears, yes. Laughter, more. Always. Humanistic close. Love isn't conquest, but quiet revolution. Against fences, fears, the small deaths of hiding. We built not despite the breaks, but through them, 2 men proving America's promise isn't in flags, but in the fierce, flawed hearts waving them. Wait, no, that's not the end. Life's messier. Love's a marathon with pitfalls. 2 years in, the cracks showed. Jack's PTSD, buried under routine, erupted. A slammed door shattering glass, his fists clenched white-knuckled against memory's siege. I can't, he'd gasp, bolting to the fire escape, rain hissing judgment. I'd follow, blanket-wrapped, whispering anchors till dawn. You're safe, we're safe. But safety's illusion. Betrayal's shadow loomed anew. Enter Riley, Jack's old squad mate, drifting into Chicago like bad weather. Lean, laughing, with eyes that promised escape from the weight. They reconnected at a vet support meet, beers turning to late nights at our kitchen table. Stories I couldn't touch. Riley's touch on Jack's shoulder lingered. Jealousy coiled, ugly and new. He's just a friend, Jack swore, but guilt etched his face. One night, I came home early, gallery closing rain-soaked, to murmurs behind our door. Peering, heart lead. Riley's hand on Jack's knee, lips close. A kiss aborted but intent clear. Can't do this to Ethan, Jack pulled back, voice wrecked. But he had betrayal's blade, self-inflicted. I fled, streets blurring, ending at the lake's edge, waves mocking my sobs. Not again. Not us. He found me at dawn, soaked and shattered. Ethan, God, no. It was nothing. Weakness, ghosts. Riley. He gets the dark I hide from you. Hide. Fury flared. That's the conflict, Jack. You think love's blind? I see your scars, want them. But shutting me out? That's the real ruin. We tore open then, raw as evisceration. His fear of breaking me with his breaks, my terror of echoes. Mom's walls, Willow Creek's whispers. I left home for this, I yelled, waves crashing chorus. Don't make me leave you. He crumpled, knees to sand. Never. You're my north, kid. Without you, adrift. Rebuild started slow, therapy, tandem, his VA groups, my art spilling pain to canvas. Riley ghosted, apology text unread. Trust mended threadbare, but stronger. Woven with truths we dodged. Summer solstice we drove south. Route 66 echoes, canyons yawning vast. Stops at diners with pie and promises, his hand on my thigh steady. Remember the fence? He mused, stars wheeling overhead. First kiss felt like freedom. Now's better. Real. Chicago bloomed fuller. My exhibit, portraits of vets, Jack's face central, eyes alive. Mom flew in, Dad too, awkward hugs thawing to toasts. Proud, she whispered, compass necklace glinting. My gift, forgiveness forged. But drama's not done. Humanity's arc bends, not breaks. Fall brought fire literal. Apartment blaze 2 floors up, smoke choking dreams. We escaped singed, losses tallying. Sketches ash, his service photos curled black. Huddled in a motel, sirens wailing. He held me fierce. Stuff's replaceable. You? Irreplaceable. Insurance crawled, but community surged, GoFundMes from the bar, gallery sales spiking. We emerged Phoenix. New loft in Pilsen. Murals on walls we painted together, colors defiant. Climax redux, winter's grip, Jack's proposal. Revisited under northern lights we chased to Michigan. Not knee, but equal, rings exchanged by the aurora's glow. Vows whispered. Through wars within and without, I choose you. Wedding small. Rooftop, spring rain misting. Mom officiating in her quiet way. Dad's nod solemn. Riley sent a card, deserve this happiness, brother. Betrayal's ghost, exorcised. Years stack, 30 now. I teach art to at-risk kids. Faces like mine once. Hidden, hungry. Jack mentors vets, his compass tattoo faded but true. Willow Creek visits heal. Mom's garden thriving, Dad's stories flowing. We foster a stray mutt. Name him Harlan, fierce loyalty. Romance endures, not fireworks but hearth. Lazy Sundays sketching his sleep-soft face. Midnight drives blasting cash. Hands linked over gearshift. Tensions tamed. Emotions depth plumbed. Love as verb, active, aching. Humanistic coda. In America's sprawl, from Rust Belt fences to windy lofts, we prove it. Queer hearts beat loudest against the quiet tyrannies. Not perfect, us, but whole. And in wholeness, grace. For the boy who couldn't stay away, the man who taught him to run toward light. Together we light the way. No, wait, life loops, lessons layer. A decade on, gray threading our hair, Jack's hand trembles some nights. Age, not ghosts. I trace it, steady. Still north. Always. His kiss, slower now but surer, wine and wisdom. Our story, no tidy bow, but tapestry. Threads of hurt, hue of hope. In Willow Creek's shadow, Chicago's shine, we stand. Unbroken, beloved. For every kid at a fence, dreaming, cross it. The man next door might just be home. Epilogues not endings, but echoes. 35, and the call comes. Mom's fading, cancer's cruel thief. We drive back, Harley traded for a sensible sedan, but spirits the same. Willow Creek greets softer. Lawn still perfect, but eyes warmer. Pride flags fluttering on porches we'd once fled. Her hospital bed. She grips my hand, Jack's at my back. Forgive me fully? She whispers, eyes milky but clear. Long done. Tears mingle. You taught me fight. Dad weeps quiet. The family not retied looser, stronger. Funeral standing room. Neighbors who'd shunned, now eulogizing her fire. Jack speaks. Ellen Caldwell was steel, bent, but never broke. Like her boy, pride swells mine. Back in Chicago, grief's garden blooms unexpected. We adopt Timmy, 12, foster kid with sketches sharper than mine at his age. Eyes haunted by homes lost. You're safe, Jack tells him. First night, compass pointed. Family's not blood. It's choice. Timmy thrives, art classes, baseball with Jack. My hand guiding his lines. Conflict creeps. School bullies, echoes of my locker scars. We face it tandem. Assemblies, ally trainings, Jack's gravel voice in PDAs. Love's not threat. It's the damn glue. Betrayal's final twist. Jack's diagnosis, early Parkinson's. Hands that fixed worlds now faltering. Shit timing. He jokes, tremor in his laugh. Fuck timing. I counter, scripting his tools voice activated. Our loft a lab of adaptations. Therapy's dance. His frustration flaring, my patience fraying. But we lean. Couples sessions dissecting fears. Rebuilding trust in fragile frames. Climax quiet. Anniversary, lakeshore, wheelchair his chariot. Waves our witness. Still can't stay away. IT's ring glinting. Wouldn't dare. His kiss, effortful but electric. Love's persistence. Profound. Humanism's heart. We're not heroes, just humans. Flawed, fierce, fumbling toward light. In America's vast quilt, patches queer and quilted. From Ohio fences to Illinois fires, betrayals to bonds. Ethan and Jack, once boys at a barrier, now men mending worlds. For Timmy's wide eyes, we story it soft. Once, A mom built walls. A neighbor tore them down. And in the breach, home. He grins, pencil flying. With a happy ending? I glance at Jack, tremor stilled in sleep. The best kind, ongoing. And so it rolls. Sketches stacking, miles mounting, hearts holding. In the man next door, I found not escape but mirror, self-reflected, loved entire. Willow Creek's whisper. Faded anthem to growth. Chicago's roar? Our symphony. Love, dramatic diva. Tenders this. Intentions forge, emotions alchemy. We emerge. Romantic, raw, redeemed. Not despite the gayness, the grit, the American ache. But because, human, holy. Fade to stars. Fence long crossed. Hands forever linked. The end? Darling, it's just the spark.